another surprise, there's another movie coming out. I guess just the first third of every month, all sorts of trailers are coming out. It's to the point there's like at least 2 other movie trailers I've skipped because there's so much news to talk about, and there was the Oscars last night. But no, today we're going back to Nintendo with a project I'm actually genuinely surprised got announced. I think it was always clear there was going to be a second Super Mario Bros. Movie. It is like one of the most financially successful animated movies of recent times. But I don't know, I was expecting something else first, you know? I thought they were gonna make the Zelda movie first, or some sort of spin-off. But no, as soon as 2026, so not even 3 years away, it's 2 years away, there's another Mario movie coming. Illumination are doing their Illumination thing. But at the same time, as much as it's slightly greedy, I totally get it, and I'm 100% on board. With the past Mario movie exceeding expectations by actually being a pretty decent video game movie, not to mention it's crammed with all sorts of references and sound design that just work, this new movie, of course, doesn't have any visuals to it, other than, I guess, inferring the post-credit scene from the first movie, and I've seen some news articles describing this as not exactly a sequel to the first Mario movie. It kind of is. Maybe it's not timeline-wise later, but, you know, it's still gonna be Chris Pratt Mario. It's basically a sequel. What we had on Mario Day, good old March 10, was Shigeru Miyamoto coming up front talking about this announcement, as well as Chris Meledandri from Illuminations talking a little bit of marketing as well. From it, we have a handful of quotes that can help stitch together where this movie is potentially going, and they do keep it vague, so let's go and explore where those quotes could lead with a good little bit of speculation on the side. I know I'm known for movie stuff these days, but I am deep inside of the Nintendo rabbit hole from my past. So from a very flat and basic perspective, this is of course a $1 billion success of a Mario movie, and this new movie is going to be based on the world of Super Mario Bros. Wow, what a surprise. Being planned for a release of April 3rd, 2026, which is almost dot on to the 2023 release. They really like the first week of April, apparently. They wish to share more details a little closer to the time when they're ready to share more. Animation has only just about begun now, but pre-production is very much underway and complete, practically. The thing that they really use to describe this sequel, it's not just that it's going to follow Mario doing Mario things. Specifically, they mention broadening Mario's world, which can go in all sorts of directions. Yes, I'm sure eventually we'll get some sort of Super Smash Bros.-esque Nintendo cinematic universe. You could argue it, I'm sure, but we're not there yet, okay? Illumination need to bleed this franchise dry every 3 years, make it a quadrilogy first before they'll go into multiversal Nintendo stuff, I'm sure. So let's shut down the gates on it being a crossover with Zelda and Kirby making an appearance. They'll stay as references and just that. What exactly is Mario's world? From the post-credits scene, we can see that Yoshi is now implied to be involved, but Yoshi themselves have their own kind of franchise, and the way you could work to expand this franchise without giving us a direct sequel is putting us into the world of Yoshi's Island. This is just one potential route they could go. Yoshi is actually older than Mario. Yoshi's story takes place in a prequel timeline of events whereby we don't have Mario as the protagonist, we have baby Mario as a little incredibly screechy kidnapped kid. And considering we do actually get some backstory footage with a baby Mario, something there could line up. Of course, we do have in the lore of this Mario movie that Mario's never experienced the Mushroom Kingdom before, but it could always be that they infer that he has been here before. That's why he's vaguely special. He just forgot because he was so young back in the time of the dinosaurs. Similarly, while talking about this early day element of the timeline, we can explore more of Peach's backstory as she is very much intertwined with this world in some regard. I will be stunned if it's actually the live-action Mario logic that she's the representative of Daisy being left into the Mushroom Kingdom as a child, but you never know. And a new villain could instead be Bowser as a kid, baby Bowser. There's room to explore in that way, and there could be a good popularity factor there as Yoshi is an incredibly popular Mario character. But it is a very different spin, isn't it? Is it Chris Pratt that's bringing in the views? Is it Mario as an adult really what we're after? I guess you could argue that Illumination were asking the exact same questions when it came to Gru. Considering the Minions is a prequel set with a baby version of Gru taking place earlier than the mainline movies, maybe it's exactly that, and Yoshi's Island is just the prequel Minions format of the Mario movie. But of course, there are other options that stay within the Mario universe of the Nintendo realm. The Legend of Zelda can stay in its live-action format, but we still haven't properly seen animated Luigi's Mansion yet. And there's all sorts to go off of here as well. Luigi is a supremely popular character, and It's already been outright said by Charlie Day, the voice actor for Luigi, that he'd love to do a Luigi's Mansion story. They reference Luigi's Mansion in the original movie just with his soundtrack and dealing with a creepy Bowsery world, but it's not a proper mansion. It's not a proper story with booze and torches and vacuums and portraits, you know? To have the Mario movie be the main one, and then the Super Luigi movie for the second one, just lines up brilliantly well. It's easy, it's simple, you can still have other characters doing other things while Luigi's going through it all, but it does tell a far smaller story that's not quite as grandiose as the original showcasing the world, you know? It's not exactly a Super Mario Galaxy of a story. It's all set inside of a house, which is a little bit harder to handle. So let's expand elsewhere for the repertoire of Nintendo characters. Thank you for making it halfway through this video. Do check below this video to see if you're subscribed to keep up with any future animated movie news. Or, I guess, speculation like I'm doing this time. That's how I started my channel anyway. While I've got your attention, do let me know what you think they're going to do for the Mario 2 movie. You think it'll be something predictable to expand the universe or something entirely new? I'd genuinely like to hear people's predictions. I'll loop back to this once the trailer comes out. And now I will let you get back to the rest of the video. Let's talk everything Mario. I can finally show off my slightly nerdy gamery side. As much as Mario is not nerdy, it's incredibly normy, but you know, whatever. I'm a gamer, I know video game character number 1. Wow. So let's expand elsewhere for the repertoire of Nintendo characters. Peach will probably always get some kind of protagonistic role if we're dealing with the adults. Her role as a more strong and powerful queen taking the lead just works very well and lines up with their new game with the Princess Peach Showtime, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's elements of that game coming forwards into the movie, whereby you'll see her in different outfits with different skill sets like karate and fencing. Makes sense for a royal upbringing to be taught all of the skills ever. So let's explore some other directions. Obviously, we've already got the Mario Kart experience in the first movie, but there are all sorts of Mario Sports interpretations that haven't come through. For example, you also have another character that could easily make an upfront appearance in the form of Wario. Wario, of course, being the classic rival alternative to Mario, and sure, Waluigi can appear too. Waluigi's incredibly popular, but boy does Nintendo not give him any attention. I don't even think he's really canon. He's just a partner to Wario. But for me, having a Mario and Luigi versus Wario and Waluigi story is something I could so get into. I loved the intro sequence of the Mario Tennis game where it's those two and Bowser's also there. I think that's really, really fun to play with, and is an easy way you can expand the repertoire of characters whilst telling a vaguely new story that doesn't just rely on Bowser again the entire time. But have Bowser, you know, on the side, that's fun too. Similarly, while that is a way you can explore the more sporty side of, I guess, the Mario Kart experience they inferred, we do also directly see the Donkey Kong country world, and that can be explored as well. We already got all sorts of Kongs in the audience, and Crazy Kong and Funky Kong are all there, but another character to include in an interesting direction, I guess, would be King K. Rool. I'm mostly just saying that as an excuse to get the Gangplank Galleon theme involved. But if you've already established these Kong characters and you want to get them involved again, why not a little bit of their character arc involved somewhere? Really, by broadening Mario's world, you can go in all sorts of directions. That's not me even touching on, like, one day when they'll probably do a Paper Mario story. I'd love that. Just cram Mario inside of a book and then have him go through a paper world. I would fall in love. Although I'd probably ask for a different animation studio. I feel like I'd want someone 2D to handle that, you know? Just to really get that sprite work going well. Other things you can explore in other directions is Diddy Kong getting involved more with the Donkey Kong storyline, Bowser Jr. being involved with his father, or another form of Bowser's kids in the form of the Koopalings. I'm personally a little tired of the Koopalings because they appear in every damn Mario game ever, it feels, and they're just 8 lazy bosses. Is there 7 of them? I can't remember. But for a movie, would be a nice way to really expand the roster in that direction. You could always infer Rosalina for a Galaxy-esque story, but I feel like that's kind of limiting. As much as it expands the world out to space, it kind of only does space. Unless they go full on and show every character on their own galaxy, like the Piranha Plant baby kids. But then another spin showing alternative princesses could be interesting, showing Princess Daisy and Princess Rosalina and Pauline. The Mario universe does currently have a notable lack of women in it, so maybe you could expand there. Really, what I kind of imagine it will be is a hodgepodge of everything. They're very clearly going to have Yoshi in this modern timeline involved, but missing out on doing more Luigi's Mansion stuff for Luigi's arc, expanding Bowser's territory to involving his kids or Bowser Jr., Having another female princess like Princess Peach involved in the story as well, and maybe expanding out to other Kongs in the Donkey Kong universe just kinda makes sense. They haven't even inferred that Bowser's involved as the main villain in this story. It could really go anywhere, and the Mario universe is vast. Whether you include the logic of the sports games, which are kind of involved with the Mario Kart references already in it, or the Mario Party games, that's practically non-canon. Maybe there's a dice in the background of the Mario 2 movie. The RPGs like Mario and Luigi, which would actually be an expansion they could do now that Luigi's not kidnapped the entire time. That'd be fun. Show me thunder, and I'll be really happy with that. Paper Mario, yeah, fat chance of that one. But alternative princesses like Princess Daisy could finally put her in the limelight in a way we could really enjoy. And Birdo as a flip side to Yoshi. Or finally, they really could go for the prequel Baby Mario story, or just burst the walls entirely and make it a Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Kirby will break through the dimensional barrier at some point, it's just a matter of when does Illumination want to jump that shark. Really, the Mario movie has had bounds and bounds of potential the entire time, and the amount of references they managed to cram into the first movie made me very satisfied as a Mario fan, and the more success they have, the closer they get to a Pikmin movie, and I'm very, very excited about that. Thankfully, even still, with Mario as massive a franchise as it is, with its over 300 games, I'm sure, expanding the Mario world really could take us in any damn direction, with every character and every spin-off idea. Illumination have found themselves a Nintendo goldmine, and they just have to not screw it up, which so far, they haven't done. The two directors, Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, are apparently back reprising their roles. Similarly, Matthew Fogel is again doing the screenplay. I assume all the cast are coming back because they do like money. And Nintendo's quote for these Nintendo movies has always been that they are continuing their efforts to produce unique entertainment and deliver it to as many people as possible. They haven't announced their Tom Holland Zelda movie, but that's the only thing that could really stunt them along the way. The very first trailer for the very first Mario movie came out on the 6th of October 2022, so following that logic, we're not going to see it until the first week of October 2025. So really, just like the olden days, we've just got to sit back and wait for this murmured Mario movie. But I'm very excited nonetheless. On that note, I'm going to end it off there. My name's been Daz. Thank you for reaching the very end of this video. What do you think of the Mario movie? What expansion do you think they should take? With so much potential, which one do you think they'll go for? What's the most crazy idea you can think of? You never know, they might surprise us. And I will see you in a little bit.